Hi, I'm Ryan Stephen and today I'm going to be cooking an easy Masoor Pulao. This is a Masoor Pulao that my mother taught me when we were kids. My mom used to make it with keema. There is another version where she used to use keema with a green chutney. That also is delicious. My grandmother passed it on to my mother. And my mother passed it on to me. This is one of our favorite family dishes. It is beautiful. Just watch as we go. Now, what I've done is I've soaked 3/4 cup of the whole akhi sabut Masoor Dal. This is also called, I believe, Egyptian lentils, red lentils, whole red lentils. I've soaked it for about an hour. The longer you soak, the better, but you need to make sure that this masoor cannot be cooked to a mush. This has to be a little grainy. It cannot be mush. It needs to be al dente. I have soaked a cup of milk with kesar, saffron. I've got a handful of fresh mint leaves. I've got nearly half a cup of chopped coriander leaves. This is about 3 tomatoes chopped fine, 4 to 5 green chilies which I'm going to keep whole. I'm not slitting it or cutting it. I've got about 2 tablespoons of garlic ginger paste. This is about half a cup of beaten curd, yogurt, dahi, whatever you want to call it. 6 onions, medium onions. They've been fried earlier and kept. This is called barista for most pulaus and biryanis. One of the spices that I really rely on, and believe me, Shan is not paying me for this. I really love Shan masalas. The pulao biryani, but don't fret if you don't have it. It's really not the end of the world. You can use any company's biryani pulao masala. You can even make it at home. I've already soaked and parboiled some basmati rice. This is 1 cup basmati rice which I have not really cooked. If you can see, it is still kacha. I've just given it 1 boil with some akha garam masala. I'll be using whole spices in this also. So make sure that it's a balanced. You don't overdo the whole spices in this and that, because then it'll be too much of spices coming in your mouth. This is going to be cooling down. This is what is going to go later on top of the rice, on top of the dal. The thing with this dal is it's very dicey. If you don't soak it and you cook it, then it needs at least about 3 to 4 whistles. If you soak this well enough, then it cooks really quickly. Again, I don't want to overcook it. I don't want it mush. I want it al dente. In this, I'm going to put some ghee. Okay, the thing with pulaus and biryanis is that you need to be a little liberal with your fat content or ghee. We are also going to cook the entire pulao in this, so I'm just making sure the sides are nicely coated with oil. This is about 2 bay leaves. I've kept a half ratio. If I've used 3 cloves or lavang or long, here I've put 3 in the rice when I was parboiling it. 2 pieces of cinnamon, some 4 green cardamom. I am going to quickly throw in this garlic ginger paste. Now I'm going to brown this very nicely. And the reason why I'm not going to put the onions immediately is because I've already fried my onions, so I don't need to burn them, and hence I've put the garlic ginger paste first. It's become nice and brown and it's kind of clinging like a lover to the pot. Throw them in. I'm also going to throw in these whole green chilies, sabut mirchi. These tomatoes I'm going to keep high flame and make sure I cook it down to a nice mush, saucy consistency. Throw in a little bit of salt. That will help break the tomatoes down. I'm going to take half of these onions, most specifically the ones that are browned a little more, and I'm going to put it in this. The rest I'm going to keep for a garnish on top. Give this a good stir and let it blend very well with the tomatoes. If you have not prepared the barista, which is the fried onions, in advance, what you could do is when you heat the ghee and you put the whole spices, you put in the 3 sliced onions You fry them really well, nice and brown. Then you throw in the garlic ginger paste. Once you saute the garlic ginger paste and the raw smell has gone, you add in the tomatoes and cook the tomatoes down to a sauce, which is what I've done in the reverse. This is where we would reach with that process also. To this, I'm going to throw in some of my mint leaves. Yeah, don't cut your mint leaves, they tend to turn black. It's of no use. I'm going to throw in the coriander leaves. This is pretty much the base of my pulao. I've simmered the gas. I'm going to add in half a teaspoon turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, dhania powder, 2 to 3 teaspoons of this masala. You have to really fry this well. It will catch or touch the bottom, but don't worry about it. At this point, I'm going to add in the dahi. So when I say parboil, what I have done is literally put the whole spices in the water, let it come to a rolling boil. Once it comes to a rolling boil, put in your rice, which has been soaking for at least about half an hour, minimum half an hour. Make sure you put salt in that water. Once the water comes to a rolling boil, put the rice into it. Let it boil once nicely. Immediately strain it out. Drain the water. Let the whole spices and the rice remain. And keep it ready to look. What beautiful this base is looking. Look at this. The rice and this dal and the spices are going to be like a beautiful marriage. They will be lovers who are meant to meet. I have put the dal, the lentils with the water. This is the sabut masoor dal. Cook this dal for at least about 5 minutes. Salt as per taste. I want this to boil a little bit and let the water dry out. I'm going to just put it on top of the dal, of the lentils, and I'm going to spread it out. No, I'm not going to mix the rice in with the dal. I'm just going to leave it on top. I am going to layer this with some coriander leaves. I'm going to throw in this milk with kesar. I'm going to throw in some more mint leaves on top. I have put a tawa down. I don't want the pulao to touch at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to just garnish. The last bit of this is I'm going to put this barista over the pulao. I'm going to just cover this and seal this with foil. Now I'm going to cover this. If you want, you could add some weight over this. Normally, I would do something like this. So, what happens with this is, it's completely locking the, the steam in. Let it cook for nice 10-15 minutes. There's another trick. You could even parboil the dal. If you've not soaked it, just put it in your cooker. Give it one whistle should be good, I think. Depends on the quality of the dal that you're using, how old it is. Boil it just as it is with water, no salt. I don't normally boil my lentils with salt. I feel it hinders the cooking. We will come back and see how this basically is going to look like. I've moved the dish to a smaller, lower gas burner. I'm going to check now. It's going to be moment of truth. Be careful when you're doing this because you could burn your hand with the steam. Oh my god. And it's just about barely touched. Look. Barely. That's the crusty portion that I love, love, love. I'm going to garnish this with whatever leftover coriander leaves we had. And this is going to be served with some beetroot raita. There you have it. Masoor Pulao. Share, like, subscribe to my channel and spread the word. What I feel is food is just the right medicine for the soul, and food is something that resonates with everybody. So I'm happy to share my recipes. Please share them. cook them. DM me your pictures. Catch me on Instagram on Rai Food Stories. Happy, happy, joy, joy.